Good morning, good evening, guys, depending on whatever time zone you are. Welcome to another episode on this series. And today we are going to be checking isometric block drawing, where we are going to be using some basic features of SolidWorks, the basic 3D features of SolidWorks. So for the isometric block drawing, we are going to be designing this particular block in a solid 3D model. And then this, we're also going to be designing this. Let me increase so you can see very well. And then we're also going to be making use of the revolve tool, how to make use of tools like the revolve boss base, the extrude cut, and all other features. We're going to be talking about them tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this particular episode. So to begin with, let me press Ctrl N so I can create a new part. Then okay, just like in our last video, you can create you can pick any plane, which means like your drawing sheet. For this one, I'll be clicking on the front plane. So click on sketch. So now for this particular drawing, this isometric block, you can see that it's made up of a base block, which is kind of rectangular, and then another block which is has an L shape. The base block has a length of about 50, and then a width of about 40 with a height of about 10, meaning that our extrude feature is about 10 is about height of 10 millimeters. Now let's go back to SolidWorks, and then we have this. So from our last video, we talked about the various forms of rectangle. I'm sure if you don't know about these various forms of rectangle, you can check the previous video to understand. So I'll be picking the center rectangle for my convenience. I could have chosen any other rectangle, but I'm just going to choose the center rectangle. And then the dimension says 50 by 40. So 50 by 40. Let me, so I come over here to smart dimension. 50 millimeters by 40 millimeters. 50 millimeter by 40 millimeters. Okay, you can see very well. So we have that dimension right over there already. And then the extrusion height says 10 millimeter. So meaning I have to extrude this particular solid body by 10 millimeters. So I come over here to the feature. Then you can see there's this particular feature called the extrude boss base. So click on it, and then you have it automatically. You can see a preview of the extrusion. The extrusion means it's going to increase the height of the 2D body, increase it by a unit of 10 millimeters. So we already have 10 millimeters here, and then from sketch plane, of course, sketch plane, and then you can click on the mark button, which is okay. So you already created a solid 3D model of the base feature for that particular body. So now, if you come back to this figure, you can see we also have another shape that is in form of a L. So with a width of about 10 here, width of about 15 here, and then the total height of this particular shape is 30. Now, if the total height of this particular shape is 30, and then from here to here is 10, meaning that the shape of this particular L-shaped box is going to be what? 30 minus 10, that's going to be 20 millimeters. So let's do just that. So we have this. So click on this. To do that, you have to click a particular face where you are going to make your drawing. So click on it, and then you have a whole lot of features here, but then you want to sketch on it, so you click on sketch. Now clicking on sketch, we have that already. Now let's take a look at how this thing looks like. So we have this right here. So I'm going to be using the line command. Now for the line command, you don't necessarily have to come here all the time. You can just press L on your keyboard. So once you press L on your keyboard, your cursor automatically changes to a pencil. So you have L, which is the line command. So you can come right over here, then draw just the exact shape that we have, that exact shape, and then we have this, and then you have this. Okay, then you can press to escape, to make sure that this particular cursor that is in form of a pencil changes back to the normal cursor. You press escape button. So once you press the escape button, your cursor is back to normal. So now, from what we have, we already have something that looks like what we have right over here. So we have a width of 10 millimeters here, and we have a width of 15 millimeters here. So let's go back to our solid body, and then we have come back to smart dimension. So for smart dimension, from here to here is 10 millimeter, if I get that right. And then from here right to here, draw it out, is 15 millimeter. So we have that already. Now we have that's 15 millimeter. Okay. Now we also have uh, all things being equal. Now from this particular edge to this latter edge, it is 10 millimeter. And then if you can see right over here, let me reduce the, okay. Now from this point right here to this point right here, where we have the force F acting, you can see that the total length of this particular block is 50 millimeters. And from here to here is 10 millimeters. Meaning that the length of this particular L shape, which is from here to this particular other edge, is going to be 50 minus 10, which is 40 millimeters. So our dimension for this particular spot right over here is going to be, let's go back to smart dimension. This is expected to be 40 millimeters. So you can see there's already an increase in the length of this particular edge shape. Now, you can see, if you come right over here, you can see that this particular shape, as already written by SolidWorks, is fully defined, meaning that your dimensions are right, your shape is right, everything is right, and you are good to go. So you have all that already. So let's go back to see if we are missing anything. We have our solid body shape. Then, okay, now we have the total height of this particular shape is 30 millimeters, but then our base rectangle already took a height of 10 millimeters. So meaning that our L block is going to be having a height of an extrusion height of 30 minus 10 millimeters, which is going to be 20 millimeters. So meaning that our extrusion for this particular block is going to be 20 millimeters. So let's come back here. Then we come to the features, the extrude. So the extrude feature, and then right over here, let's type 20 millimeters. So typing 20 millimeters, you can see the preview already of how the block is going to look like. So we have that, and then you click OK. So you can see this is exactly what we have, just the way we have it in the 2D, in the 3D paper sketch. So this is the way it looks like, and then for comparison, let me just put it like this, and then you have this, and then you also have this. So you can contrast and compare how both of them actually looks like. So you can see, are we missing anything? I don't think we are actually missing anything. Our sketch is fully defined. So that is the first part of isometric block drawing, where we use the extrude feature and all of that. Now that is for one part, that's for a solid body. Let's also take a look at this other solid body, which is also an isometric block view. So let me increase it so you can see it very well. Okay, now as you can see, this particular block is made up of about let me say 2 or 3 blocks that are joined together. So we are going to be sketching this one also. Let's see how things are going to actually go. Okay, let me minimize this. Let me come back to SolidWorks, and then now to create a new part, just click on Ctrl N. But if you don't want to use Ctrl N, you can always come back to this particular file view over here. You can see there is new, so you can click on new. Once you click on new, you have parts and all of that. So click on parts, and then you click OK. So SolidWorks opens a new window for you to work on. So let me click top plane this time around, because I'll be using the front plane a lot. So I'm going to be clicking on the top plane. Let me just click on the top plane. Now for this particular sketch body, I'm going to be drawing first. Now, one thing about 3D solid modeling is that you should have the ability to have an insight into what the drawing really entails. It's not just a particular solid body, it is made up of various solid bodies that are actually brought together. Not just that your caterpillar, your car was just produced as a whole, it was made up of different parts that are actually modeled up together. Same thing goes for 3D solid drawing and all of that. Computer-aided design is made up of various shapes that are actually brought together. So for this particular one, I'm seeing about 2 shapes or 3 shapes, depending on how you view it. But right about I can see my top view, I can see my front view, I can see my right view at the same time, which is what actually makes it the 3D drawing, which is what makes it to be 3D. So right about that, let's just get started, and do away with the long talk. So right here we have the length of this particular L shape to be 50, and then the width to be 10, and then the width over here is also about 15. So I'll be drawing this particular top view, which is also going to be my base view, my base. Basically, I'm going to be drawing it first. So let's have that 50, 15, 10. If I'm right, I hope I can recollect. So click on the insert line. So once you click on that, you have this already. So you have smart dimension. So this is 50, and then this is 10, and then this is 15. Okay. And then am I missing anything? No, I'm not missing anything. Now the total length from this particular point to this particular point is going to be the summation of everything right here. So this is going to be 10 plus 20, which is going to be 30. So we have 30 smart dimension. This is going to be 30. So I think we are good to go. What else are we missing? 10, 50, 15, 30. 10, 15, 15, 30. What else are we missing? Let's just go to our extrude boss base, and then okay, you can see, and then our height, the height of this particular solid body, the overall height is 40, as you can see right over here, is 40 millimeters. I'm not sure if you can see that, but let me indicate with probably I hope you can just see it. This is 40. 40, we have 40 right over here. So 40 mean our extrusion height is 40. So let me just type 40 over here. 40, good. So you can see. Now for those wondering how I'm able to move my drawing around the entire window, what you just have to do is to press the control button and then the rolling knob on your mouse, not the left button, not the right button. The knob on your mouse, just click on it also and also press the control button, and you should be able to move your drawing around about your window. So I've extruded by a height of 40 millimeters, and then I think good, we have that already. Now let's see again. We also have a block right over here, which is 20 by 35, which is which is right on this particular face. So let me come right to this place, then I click on sketch. Good. So then let me come right over here, I click on corner rectangle. Now in this particular case, using the center rectangle is not going to be advisable, because the center rectangle goes away from a point in all other four corners at the same rate. So but for the corner rectangle, I get to pick a point, and then every other corner follows the same direction, unlike the center rectangle where everybody goes in different direction. So I'll be choosing the direct corner that is right over here. You can see there's a yellow spot. I'm not sure if you can see, but I hope you can see it very well. So there's a yellow spot right over here. Click on it and then draw a rectangle away from that point. Good. So click on escape. Now we have this, and we have the extrusion height is 20. The width of this particular, now if you take a look at this is from here to here is 35, and then from here to here is 15. So we have if I'm right, from here to here is 15. So now one thing I would love to use here is one particular feature, which is, now there is one particular feature I'm going to be using here, because from what we have here, from this particular point here to this particular edge, we have 15 millimeters. So to measure that 15 millimeters, I'm going to be using a certain feature, which is the convert entities. Now this particular convert entities allows you to still make dimension on a particular solid body that you've already probably extruded or something. So this particular, I'll click on convert entities, then I come to this particular edge and I click on it. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, seems like I already converted it earlier. Let me delete. Good. So now click on convert entities, then entities to convert right over here, click on it. You can see it has already picked up, it says edge 1, meaning this particular edge I can now give it a certain dimension, or I can do some other new features on this particular edge. So I say okay. Now I come to smart dimension, and then from this edge to this right edge that I just converted, I put in 15 millimeters, because if I'm right, yeah, 15, yes, from here to here it is 15 millimeters. So with that being done, I'm very sure from everything from here to this particular point is going to be 35. So the width of this particular rectangle that I have here should be around 20. Yes, exactly. You can see 20. So now SolidWorks already knows the dimension of what is around here. That's why it's telling me that make this dimension driven and all of that. So this particular rectangle here already has its own automatic dimension. SolidWorks already did the calculation and already knew that this particular stuff ought to have a dimension of 20 millimeter. So now this is 20 millimeter, and then the height is 25 millimeter, right? 25 millimeter. Okay. The extrusion height is 25 millimeter. The height is 25 millimeter. So let's come right here. Smart dimension again. 25 millimeter. Good. Now all I have left is to extrude. Now come here, click on features, extrude boss base. Now the extrusion, you can see right here is SolidWorks says fully defined, right? SolidWorks says fully defined. So the extrusion in this case is going to be different from the normal extrusion that we have been using in our previous videos, in the sense that this extrusion, you can see right over here, this particular feature, this rectangle, everything over here has the same face, like they are interwoven together, they are merged together. So to use that extrusion feature, you have to come right over here, then click on up to surface. So meaning you are extruding up to a particular surface. Now the surface I'm going to be extruding up to is this particular surface. So once I click on that particular surface, let me do that again. Extrude, then extrude up to surface. Now the surface I want to extrude up to is this. Then I click, alright, okay, select face to complete the specification. Let me clear, delete. So I already have that, and then okay, it says there's an error somewhere. Apparently there is a mistake already, so seems I have to probably delete this. Click on delete. Okay, let's do that all over again, because SolidWorks is telling me I have an error. So I have to click this particular stuff and say sketch. Okay, let me see, and then I draw all out again. And then edit dimension. This should be 25, and then smart dimension. This is going to be 20. This is going to be 20. Okay. Now we have feature. Let's say extrude. It says extrude. Now our extrusion, good. We've gotten it already. So our extrusion is going to be now the type of extrusion I was mentioning earlier is going to be an extrusion that is done up to surface. So click extrusion up to surface. What surface are we extruding up to? Now you can see that this particular square, let me say there should be, I wish I could edit this from this particular, everything, this particular box right here is in alignment with this particular box. Like everything is giving you a L shape. So meaning that all the faces, they are smooth and they are the same. This whole face that is here. So for that reason, I'll be using a certain type of extrusion called the up to surface extrusion, and then I'm extruding to this particular surface. I pick it up. So you already have a preview that this particular box and then this particular surface, they are aligned together. So I click on that and then I say okay. So you can see exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this particular box right here, the extrusion is in alignment with the extrusion of this particular surface. So if you bring out the 2D, the 3D paper sketch, if you bring it out, you can see it's technically the same thing. If I'm right, am I right? Yes. It's exactly the same thing. So that is a form of isometric block view, and that is how you get it done. Now, one other feature I'll be using and teaching is, let's press Ctrl New. So you can also practice that on your own. Click on parts, and then you say okay. This time around, I'm going to be using the right plane. Now I want to teach how to use this revolve feature and a whole other feature. Now let's pick up the circle feature. Let's draw a circle. Let's give it a smart dimension, an anonymous smart dimension of let's say 150 millimeters. Now 150 millimeters. What I'm trying to draw is a sphere. You know the way a sphere looks like, more like your ball. So what I'm going to do right now, I will click on convert entity. Now converting entity, I pick this particular spot. Sorry, offset entity. Now I pick this particular circle. If you don't understand about offset entity, we spoke about it in our previous video. You can check it out. Now the offset entity gives a distance between the initial drawing that you gave and then the new, more like a shadow drawing. So yeah, offset distance of 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters. Okay. Now for that, what I'm going to be doing now, I will come right here to this particular point and click on the center line. I will draw the center line right across. There are various methods for carrying out drawings in these things. You can use various methods that you like. So click on the escape button. Now I would use the trim entities. The trim entities allows you to cut off certain part of a certain feature or a certain drawing that you have. So click on trim entities. If I should draw like this, you can see it cuts that entire part. It cuts it off. So now I'm going to be closing this particular drawing right over here. You can see it is opened. So I click on my drawing line and then I close it up right over here. And then this part also, I close it up. So you can see fully defined. So I come right here and then I click on the revolve boss base. Now the revolve boss base, what it does is that it creates a circular pattern of whatever drawing that you have. See, it creates a circular pattern of whatever we have here already. So axis of revolution, SolidWorks automatically picked up that particular construction line that I picked up earlier. So that is going to be the axis of revolution, meaning the axis around which you want this particular thing to be created. The axis of revolution. So it has already clicked and created it. So you can see the 3D preview of how it looks like. So I can click on OK, and then you see I have a sphere, more like a ball already. So that is basically how you use the revolve feature. It allows you to create circular patterns, or let me say circular shapes, without drawing the entire 2D circular shape. So that is basically that. I would also be now coming back to this particular drawing. There are some things I want to show us now. Coming back to this particular drawing, yes, there are some features I feel I should let you know about. Now, right over here, we have what we call the fillet. The fillet allows you to turn sharp-edged spots, allows you to bend them, give them a certain angle and all of that. So clicking on fillets, if I should click on fillets, there are various types of fillets, but I'm going to be using these normal ones that I use. If I should click on fillets and then I click on all these edges, let me click on all those spots, and then I give it a fillet of about fillet radius of 20 millimeters, and then I click OK. Okay, there's an error. Sorry. Click on fillets. I should be choosing this spots. Say okay, 10 millimeters. I should choose 10 millimeters, and I say OK. You can see it turns this particular thing, it turns it into a cornered edge. Instead of a sharp edge, you have it like a cornered edge. But this looks a little bit too cornered for me. So I will just edit, come right here, click on edit feature, and then I would give it a fillet of about 4 millimeters. Let's just say 4 millimeters. Okay. So exactly. So you can see this particular place is kind of curved. It's not giving a shaped, a pointed edge shape and all of that. So right about here, let me click on the fillet pattern again. So let me give this particular spots. Let me click on the places I want to fillet. I want to fillet all this. I want to give this a fillet. I want to give this a fillet. To do that, you can see as I'm clicking, it is recording it here. And how am I doing that? I'm pressing the control button, and at the same time, I'm clicking on the edges that I want to fillet. So click on this spot. So I have 6 edges already that I want to fillet, and then I give it a fillet radius of 4 mm. So click OK. So you can see it turns all those sharp edges, turns them into cornered edges. Something, let me use the word cornered edges. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use. So that's basically how I use the fillet feature. So you can see it has a little bit of more aesthetics and all of that. And so you can see now. I also want to sometimes you might see some shapes and you wonder how they were able to put holes in this particular shapes and all of that. Now let me click on this and show you what I'm talking about. Sketch, click sketch. Now convert entities. I pick this particular stuff. Convert entities. Okay. Now offset entities. Now click on offset entities of reverse. Offset entities, let us say 2 mm. Yes, offset entity of 2 mm. So this exact particular shape is brought inward, and then I have okay. Now to do that, I already have a particular shape here. So this one, okay, right here. So I come here, I come to feature, and then I have extrude cuts. Now extrude cuts of this particular surface. So I click on that particular stuff that I just drew, and then extrude cuts through this entire body. So you can see my arrow is coming through this entire body. So I already have a preview of what is going to happen. But I should click OK, and then you see there's a hole that runs through this particular shape as it is, and that is due to the feature of what we call the extrude cut. You can also use the O wizard and all of that, but that's what you use the extrude cut to basically do. Let us also practice it on this particular stuff. Sketch. Okay. Now I click on convert entities. I pick one, and then come right over here. Offset entities. This reverse. So good. And then come here to feature, extrude cuts, extrude. This time around, I don't want to extrude through all. So what I'm going to do is extrude to. I want an extrusion of probably 20 millimeters. So meaning there's going to be a depth of 20 millimeters, or let us say 15 millimeters. The hole is going to be about 15 millimeters in depth. So we have that. Oh, I made a mistake, sorry. So this extrude cuts, this particular surface is what I want to extrude 15 millimeters. So I did not click it earlier. That was what gave me the mistake. So this, I have this. So you can see there's a hole. This one is not true hole because I gave it a certain dimension that okay, give me a hole that is up to that is 15 millimeters in depth. So that is why I have this. So you can see this particular shape. So whenever you see complex shapes, don't be surprised on how engineers actually were able to form those shapes. They are not just one particular shape. They are made up of various different basic solid shapes that they were actually brought together and then were welded together. So that is that about that. Now I would be taking us through a whole feature of things. For example, let's say now I also want to take you through some other features called the extrude, the sweep boss base and all of that. Now sometimes you see some pipes that are actually kind of not the regular pipes. They were bent in some certain directions, and then you wonder how they were actually done, how they are actually printed in 3D model and all of that. So basically what is used is the sweep boss base. Now let's come right over here. I come spline, let me choose the spline tool, and then pick and then draw some regular let me draw this. Okay, I think that's okay already. Okay, good. Now for this is a spline, a shape, basically a line but with curved edges. Now for that I come to features, and then you see this particular sweep boss base. So what this particular sweep boss base does is that it creates a circular pattern or a circular profile across this entire structure that I've done here. So I click on this, so as you can see, then I click on circular profile. So circular profile, click on this. Sorry. So for that, I come here, yes, sweep boss base, and then you click on circular profile, and then you click on this. So you can see a preview of how the pipe is going to look like. I'm very sure you understand what I'm saying. So you have a circular profile of how the pipe is going to look like. You can see circular profile, and then you can click OK. So sometimes when you see some shapes, you see some pipes that are actually in an irregular pattern compared to the normal conventional pipes that you know, just know that they used this particular feature. Now let me click on this sketch. Okay, now I'm going to be having, I just want to do some, run some abracadabras on this if that is permitted. So okay, and then I have, okay, instead of doing that, let's just convert entities. Click on this, on edge this, and then offset entities by a distance of 2. Okay, let us say 0.4 in the reverse direction. Let us say 1 in the reverse direction, 1 millimeters. Okay, click on that. So I come right over here, and then I say extrude cuts. So extrude cuts for this, and then I say blind. Instead of saying blind, I say true hole. So, oh, you can see it just went across this particular stuff, but then I'm just playing around. I could have done it, we can do it in such a way that this runs through this entire pipe, but just to, for reference and all of that, I selected bodies. Okay. So you can see there's a form of hole right over here. Sorry, I don't know what I actually did right over there, but still, it's just what it is. But right now, you already know how to use the sweep feature and all of that. Now, do you use particular lofted boss base? To use that, basically, I think I would explain that using this particular feature right here, this particular diagram right here. Now, lofted boss base, you basically use it somewhere around here. You can use it somewhere around here, and then okay. So you have that. Okay. Sorry, I don't think that feature is available for me. Something like that. But basically, I would go through that and then get back to you on our next video about that. So in our last video, we talked about the mirror tools. We talked about a whole lot of features. So in our next video, what is going to be happening is that we are going to be having a live project or a solid object that we're going to be designing and all of that. So what you just have to do is that make sure you turn on your subscribe button, the notification bell, and then like this video. And you can also share to your fellow engineers that are interested in computer aided design. Also, you can check this channel out on LinkedIn for our daily nuggets, our weekly nuggets on computer aided design. So I'm going to see you on the next video. Thank you guys.